गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। रिसेंटली इंडिया ने G20 होस्ट किया है एंड काफ़ी करंट में रहा है, न्यूज़ में भी रहा है एंड हेंस बहुत पोटेंशियल टॉपिक हो जाता है हमारे एग्ज़ाम्स के लिए। एंड हेंस आई एम अगेन हेयर विद वन लाइनर्स ऑफ G20 फॉर वेरियस एग्जामिनेशंस। What does acronym G20 stands for? Group of 20. Which country hosted the first G20 summit? USA. When was the first G20 summit held? 2008. What is G20 Summit 2023? The G20 Summit is an intergovernmental organization comprised of 19 nations and the European Union, focused on addressing global economic concerns. When did India assumes the G20 presidency for 2023? 1st December 2022. From which country? Indonesia. How does G20 summit promote cooperation amongst nations? G20 summits promote cooperation by providing a platform for leaders to discuss and address global economic and environmental changes. What percentage of global GDP do G20 countries represent? 85% of global GDP. What are some criticisms of G20 summit? Critics argue that G20 has small membership, lacks enforcement authority, and may undermine established international organizations. Which country held G20 presidency before India in 2022? Indonesia. What are some key events leading up to G20 Summit 2023? Pre-summit events include Sherpa meeting, finance deputies meeting, ministerial meetings, sustainable finance working group meeting, and framework working group meeting. What is G20's approach to reducing greenhouse gas emission? G20 discusses strategies and commitments to reduce greenhouse gases emissions and combat climate change. How does G20 summit aligns with United Nations Sustainable Development Goal SDGs? The G20 summits aligns with SDGs by addressing economic and environmental issues that contribute to sustainable development. How does G20 summit contributes to global efforts to combat poverty? Discusses policies and strategies to reduce poverty and promote inclusive economic growth on global scale. When is G20 summit scheduled to take place in 2023? G20 summit is scheduled to take place from Saturday 9 September 2023 to Sunday 10 September 2023. Which country is current chair of G20? The current chair of G20 summit 2023 is India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will host the G20 Summit 2023 for all global leaders. When was G20 established? 1999. Which country is permanent guest of G20? Spain. India is inviting which guest countries along with the members of G20 to take part in summit? Bangladesh, Mauritius, Egypt, Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Spain, Singapore, and UAE. What percentage do G20 contributes to global trade? 75%. What percentage do G20 countries contribute to world's land area? 60%. What is G20 Women 20? G20 Women 20 is a platform that women's empowerment and gender equality in G20 countries. What was the theme of G20 summit in 2022 under presidency of Indonesia? Recover together, recover stronger. Who is leader representing European Union in G20 summit 2023? Ursula von der Leyen, President of European Commission. Turkey hosted G20 summit for the first time in which year? 2015. Who is the president of Asian Development Bank participating in G20 summit in 2023? Masatsugu Asakawa. What is name of IMF Managing Director participating in G20 Summit 2023? Kristalina Georgieva. What is motto of 2023 G20 New Delhi Summit? Vasudev Kutumbakam. One Earth, One Family, One Future. What is the name of Indian origin president to World Bank who is participating in G20 summit in New Delhi? Ajay Banga. Which countries are the member of G20 summit? Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, along with European Union. Where will G20 Summit 2023 held? G20 Summit 2023 will be held at Bharat Mandapam with ITPO Convention Center in New Delhi's Pragriti Maidan. How often is G20 Summit held? G20 Summit is held annually. How many G20 summits have been held so far? 18 summits have been completed with completion of New Delhi's G20. Which country will host G20 summit in 2024? Brazil. Which country will host G20 summit in 2025? South Africa. The logo of G20 is inspired by which theme? Indian national flag. What percentage do G20 countries contribute to world's population? Nearly 60%. Why did President of United States Joe Biden call for removal of Russia from G20 due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine? In which year Saudi Arabia hosted G20 summit? 2019. In which city Australia hosted G20 summit in 2014? Brisbane. Which city hosted second G20 summit? London, United Kingdom. Who is the host leader of first G20 summit? George Washington Bush. What is the venue of G20 New Delhi Summit? International Exhibition Convention Center. When was the first G20 summit held in India in 2023? Is there any permanent secretariat or headquarters of G20? No. Who designed India's G20 presidential logo? Sudarshan Patnaik. Where did G20 Sherpa meeting under India's presidency took place? Udaipur, Rajasthan. Which country is the most recent addition to G20? Argentina. Which G20 member has the largest economy? The United States. Which G20 member has the highest population? India. Which country has the second largest economy in G20? China. Which country has the third highest economy in G20? Japan. Which country has the smallest economy in G20? South Africa. How are G20 countries selected? The G20 countries are selected based on their economic importance. Which country is the only African member of G20? South Africa. A delegation of how many members will be participating in New Delhi Summit of G20? 43 members. These were all the potential questions of G20 Summit. Keep revising, keep connecting. Thank you and Jai Hind.